Hello, everyone. I'm Tammy McBride. Welcome to the Virtual STEM Showcase Professional Connection Highlight. We are taking the opportunity to interview people from the educational and professional sectors around the region that directly connect to STEM and give you a few ideas about your projects. Today, I have Maria Guerra, who is currently working as a project designer for Neal Associates, a general service architectural practice, and has a bachelor's of science in architectural studies and a master's in architecture. Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you, Tammy?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have
My
a
pleasure.
few I have a few questions to ask you if that's okay about your job. So,
Yeah, let's hear them.
okay. So tell me just a little bit about MJ Neal Associates and what an architecture project designer does.
Neal Associates is a general architectural firm that specializes in meeting the needs of our clients. We have over 35 years of serving communities, and we provide design and development solutions on a full range of projects, such as a fire station, law and justice, healthcare, retail, office, residential, just to mention a few. And a project designer works alongside the architect and is involved in the conceptual, the preliminary design, the design development, and construction documents of various projects. We use computer aided drafting programs such as AutoCAD, and then we also use 3D modeling programs such as Revit. And this helps us generate a full set of documents for a permit set that then we submit to the jurisdiction. That could be the city, that could be the county. And from there, if it does get approved, we then give that to the owner and the general contractor, and then they take that and build the project.
Awesome. Okay. So is there a building in Wenatchee area that maybe we would recognize that you've designed or that you were involved in?
So I had the opportunity to work alongside some of my colleagues on the Holy Apostles Church in East Wenatchee for the entrance remodel and the addition that they did. And then I also had the opportunity to work on the Buzzin in East Wenatchee. They did a remodel and they did an addition on the back, and two others that are not necessarily inside in Wenatchee, but they're on the outskirts. The Antioquia Apartments in Eniat, and then the Arroyo Plaza in Rock Island.
Awesome. Those are great. I know exactly every single one that you just said. So, um, can you give us an example of some of the projects that you are currently working on? Maybe a new construction or any historic renovations or remodel projects?
I am currently working on various projects. Most of them are new construction. I am working on a parish for the Leavenworth and Cashmere communities. I'm also working on a retail building and some custom homes for some of our clients. I have done remodeling. Those tend to be a little bit more difficult to work with because you're having to really investigate the existing conditions before you can make those changes. But um, that's just a little bit of what I'm currently working on.
Awesome. So, what is an example of when you use more than one STEM skill during your planning or design process?
In the design process, I use Revit to generate the 2D and the 3D representation of the project. So this is where I use the technology that we have available to us to generate that. And then after doing so, I'm able to calculate the quantities, the areas of walls, of windows, of roofing, flooring, that I'm able to then take onto an Excel document and then be able to generate a preliminary cost estimate to the client. So that's where we use math and making sure that we stay under budget. And we also collaborate with some of our consultants, the structural, electrical, mechanical engineers, to make sure that our building is going to be functioning and that there's not going to be any conflicts with any of their elements and the design, and that it's going to be able to be a successful product.
Awesome. So what excites you most about your job?
I would have to say the beginning and the ending of the project. The initial stage of the project and working with the client's ideas and what they're envisioning, and then kind of marrying that with my ideas and taking that into the design development of the project. And then lastly, the construction of the project to see the product finalized and the client happy with that result.
Yeah, definitely. I can see where that would be very rewarding at the end. Just finally seeing it all come together. Um, so we have a lot of students listening in on your interview today. And what advice would you give them if they were interested in architecture?
I would say to be ambitious, to be determined and passionate, stick with what you really are in love with. And if it is architecture, definitely pursue it. Aside from that, I would say do some research, look at what colleges in our area offer that career and what admission requirements are needed. So if you are in high school, that you do speak with your counselor to make sure that you're fulfilling those requirements and you're ready to go.
Yeah, good advice. What kind of classes would you suggest students to take to prepare themselves if they might be interested in a career in architecture?
I would highly recommend them to take CAD if they offer it at the high school or Revit. Those two programs will definitely give you a jump start into understanding how to draft or model a project. I would also recommend taking a lot of math classes, pre calculus, calculus, because you will be doing some math classes in the college level. So you definitely want to be prepared.
Definitely. Yeah. Um, I happen to know that you had a job for a while working with a cohort of students over a period of 5 years. And in that time, you probably got to know some of them very well. Did you ever see a student and think to yourself, like, whoa, that young woman or that young man has what it takes to be an architect? Or, wow, they are definitely going to be that type of person that is going to be doing this as a career?
I actually did. And it was mostly after I shared with them what I had gone through
Uh-huh.
that they would come forward and share their artistic skills. And some of those students were actually in a CAD class. And so they would come and show me their designs. And I always thought, like, oh man, you definitely have what it takes. You just have to really stick with it. And they were doing well academically as well. So I think they were well rounded students and great candidates to pursue architecture.
Nice. So did you happen to follow up with them like push them and give them some advice or any kind of did you recognize it with them and tell them and address it to them, and what did that look like?
Yes, I did. So I spoke with those students that I had that connection with, and that they shared their interests. And we actually walked through looking at Washington State University, the University of Washington, and then the University of Idaho, which are sort of the closer institutions that offer this career opportunity. And then we started looking at their classes. Are you signed up for these classes? Or maybe you need to follow up with the counselor to change those. And so after doing some of that, and then obviously keeping the encouragement going throughout the school year, I did know about two students that pursued it and are currently finishing up their degree. And I just hope to see them in the professional world and be able to connect with them. So I'm really looking forward to that.
For sure. That is such a cool experience. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. Do you have any last minute remarks for anybody that's listening in?
I would just say thank you for listening in, and I hope that this interview helped you in maybe deciding if architecture is for you, or if you have further questions that you would like to connect with me, I would be happy to share my information. You could email me. And then also, if you have an opportunity to do a job shadow, whether it's an architecture or a different career, I would highly recommend you to make those connections because they are crucial in making those decisions at an early stage.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. Well, I think that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to submit all of your individual or group projects for a chance to win cash prizes. All projects must be submitted by Friday, May 6th. Also, if you are a community partner listening in on these connection highlights series, don't forget to vote for your favorite project. Voting is open until May 13th. Thank you, Maria, so much for answering some of our questions for us today. And thank you all for listening in, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.